guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie, and if you're new here, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you're not, thank you for returning to my channel. So from the title you can see what today's video is going to be about, because some of you from the last video I posted wanted to see how I study the Bible and how I Bible journal. So some of the things I'm going to be mentioning are things that I have seen, or some of them I have picked up as I have gone along. I know, like, reading the whole Bible, or like even thinking about reading the Bible, can be very intimidating, because you're just looking at the whole book and you're like, oh my god, like, where do I even start from? But I'm going to show you how I study mine. You don't necessarily have to do it like mine, but these are just things that, like I said, I have picked along, or things I have seen, things I have learned from other people. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. Okay, so this is the Bible that I use. It is not a journaling Bible. Wait, let me make this better for you guys to see this. So this is how the Bible looks like. This is the King James version, and it is in large print. The Bible is from Hendrickson Bibles, and I just got this at the store. So this is how the font looks like. It isn't a journaling Bible, it's just a normal Bible. So this is just what I use. Some people use the Bible app, but this is what I use. Sometimes I use the Bible app as well, but I use this most of the time. And sometimes I have like sticky notes inside, just so, and then I have some notes on the side, and they're all highlighted. So I have all of that in my Bible. Also, before I start reading the Bible or I start journaling, I like to pray, because I want God to open up my eyes to be able to see what it is that I am reading, and also I want him to open up my heart to the message that I am about to receive. Then after prayer, I like to go to the verse or the chapter that would be the focus of my reflection and my journaling of the day. So I decided to start reading the Gospels of the Bible, and I'm currently in Mark. So if a day before I was reading chapter 5, the next day, that means I will be reading chapter 6. So most times I don't finish, well, most times I feel like I need to take more than one day to read one chapter. Sometimes I take 2 days, sometimes I take 3 days. It just depends on you and your understanding and your reflection. For my journaling, I have a system that I use, and this is a system that I use. I use the HERE system, and H just stands for highlighting a verse that stands out. E means to explain what it means. A is how you apply that to your life, and then R is how you respond by prayer. And also I have like a color coding system for my Bible. So if you look at my Bible, I have like things from the gospel that, like, the blue just means verse that stands out. You could do whatever you want to do and how you want to, but this is just how I do mine. So the blue are verses that stand out. Yellow means prayers. Orange is God's promises, characteristics, actions, name, questions. Pink is what you take away from the passage. Green, common words, important words, instructions. So that is just what I've done throughout the passages I have read, and some of them I circle like the words and like write on them with like sticky notes or pencils or pen, or just have little things like. Okay, so how do I apply this system to journaling. So this is one of the first ones I did when I first started out Bible journaling, and I have my H, which means to highlight any passage that stands out. So these are the passages that these are the verses that stood out to me when I was reading the Bible. So I have them all written out here, or sometimes I would just write the chapter and the verse. Then I have E, which means to explain what it means to me, like what did I understand from the passage I just read, which I have here. And sometimes I would merge that with the application of it to my life, because I think we can't just read the word and not try to apply that to our lives. So I have E here, which means to explain, and also how does that apply to me, how does that apply to us as a society, all of that. And then I have prayers. Okay, so like I said, I have my title, which is here. Okay, I think I forgot to mention that. I have my title, which is always like sometimes my date and the chapter I'm reading, or the topic of discussion from whatever sermon I am watching. So I usually have that as the title. And then I have my H, which is the highlighting of the verses that stood out to me, and these are all the verses that stood out to me. And then I have E, which is to explain what the passage is about. So this was what the passage was about. And then I have like questions, which I answered right here for after reading the passage. Then I also have like some more questions, like what is important, gaining the whole world or finding life, walking with him means a life. So I have like the answer right here for the question. Sometimes I don't have the answers to those questions and they just stay on my mind for the whole day, and I just reflect on those questions that I have written down. And then I have like a little prayer. I think I can show you guys this. I would just like to say, like, it is your journal, so I don't think there is a right or a wrong way to journaling. I think as long as it makes sense to you, and as long as you get to when you look back at it, it just makes sense to you. So like I said, my date, the chapter as my title, and then I go on to talking about like what the whole chapter is about. And then I have like, it shows Jesus accepted rejection as the price of what a faithful prophet must pay. He was rejected by friends and family, but he was faithful and kept on spreading the word. And then I had like a little prompt here where I said what we should do. So what we should do as Christians. And then I also had like something that came up after I wrote this. So I was like, not everyone is going to accept what we preach and what we teach when we teach the word of God. We might be rejected, scorned, but we need to keep going on. Well, we need to keep going. And then I had like a little question, why? So while reading the passage, I also had like, because Jesus did not let rejection debilitate him. He went on with the teaching, which is what he wants us to do. He sent us to preach, heal the sick, free the people from demonic possession. I also have like all of this, the same thing I have done throughout. Then I also have my prayer right here. So that is basically what I do in terms of Bible journaling. Sometimes I don't fully understand what some verses are trying to tell me, and sometimes I feel like I need a little bit of help in trying to understand what it means. So sometimes if I don't understand what a particular verse or chapter is trying to say, I would search up, let's say, Matthew 13. So I'll search up Matthew 13 explained or Matthew 13 commentary, and then you have like a whole list of resources come up, and then I just look and see which ones I really like. But I have one that I have been using more commonly because they do break down each verse and each chapter more, so you get to see like what each word means, and it just makes it better. So yeah, I will post all of that up on the screen somewhere. You guys will see that. And I think that is all for today's video. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys like this type of content, please let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share. And yeah, bye guys.